Well, hello, it is your girl, Latanya Washington here, your customer journey strategist, college instructor of social media marketing and brand building, and the owner of The Customer Culture. And so I'm coming to you today and asking you this simple question. What do you do when you know there is no plan B? And if you do not make at least $2,000 within the next couple of weeks, you're going to be out on the street. Have you thought about preparing yourself? Have you thought about that thing? And I'm bringing that question up because I already know there are a lot of people out here that know if they do not generate at least 2,000, 1,000, $5,000 within the next couple of weeks, they don't know where they're going to be living or what car will they be driving? Are you looking out the window right now trying to make sure that the repo man does not come and repossess your car? So let us talk today. And I want to specifically speak to you all that you know that you have a product, you know you have a service out here that you've been trying to market, you've been trying to put out in the streets, but you've been hearing crickets, or you just don't have someone to help you through the process, a mentor or a coach to take you step by step, or even provide you with the resources in order for you to get to your next level. So let's talk. Because let me tell you right now, I've been there and I've done that. Thank goodness some days that there were family members that I could call on and say, I need a G, as the young folks say, I need a G, okay? Because I still remember the day, you all, when I had a contract with a company out of Orange County, California. And I had been doing business with this company for multiple years, and they literally went bankrupt. And I sat there with my mouth open, like, you see my mouth? Like, okay, what am I going to do next? I'm telling you, I went into a bad place. I went into a head spin, and I live in California. Okay. So thank goodness for my family at that time. But see, that caused me to make some changes in my life. And that was the time as well when I went back to school and did what I needed to do. And I stepped out in business. I began to do the things that I needed to do. But let me talk to you all, especially that you know that you have something to offer to people, but you don't know the next step that you need to take in order to get to your next level. I'm going to drink some water right now because we're going to be here for a minute. So I need you to get out your ink pens and your paper, whatever you need to do, because I want you to begin to jot some things down, because I'm going to share my screen on some places that for many of you all, maybe it is a speaking engagement, maybe you're trying to do some training, maybe you have a product that you know that you want to put out into the marketplace. I want us to begin to think about the different areas in which we can begin to meet people, and not only meet people where they are, but even begin to connect with people that we don't know that have what I call many times, they have the key to the gate in order for you to get through the gate. So let me first talk to you all that maybe have a product and you're looking to put your product out into the marketplace. Well, first of all, remember, you definitely want to begin to utilize your social media platforms. And there are days, let me say this, there are days in the week where you need to do what we consider to be a growth strategy. What do I mean by that? I mean, I need to grow my platform. I need to gain more followers, because if I have a product, I'm talking to the people who have a product. If I have a product, I need to be able to sell to people, right? So there are times when you need to set aside a day or two in the week and say, let me begin to gain followers. How can you begin to do that, you all? You will need to not just post on the platform and say, I have this product available to you. And I mean, it can be the best thing since sliced bread, but you have to begin to talk to other people. You need to begin to evaluate people, or people especially that you know would want what it is that you have for sale. Who would want this product? Am I focused in on women of a certain age group? Am I focused in on women that are interested in going out, having a good time? They want to look good. Who are they? I need to know. And then I need to go into the social media platforms and begin to put up in the URL search engine certain keywords, certain hashtags. For instance, if I know someone may want um my beauty soap that I just created, I'm going to put up in my URL, you all, I'm going to put up maybe beauty products. I'm going to put in women. It could even be women in business, women with children. I'm going to start putting in keywords on certain things, because what am I doing? I'm looking for people that would actually or possibly want what it is that I have. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to evaluate the people, because each platform is going to show you people. It'll also show you organizations. It'll show you companies that you are able to connect with. All of the platforms will allow you to do that. One platform in particular that really, really does it, you all, is that darn TikTok. All right. But it all depends on who I'm searching for. See, now it's going to require you to do some work. Remember, there's no plan B. You need $2,000 in 2 weeks. But we have to begin to go through the process of gaining and doing the things that we need to do in order to get to the next level, in order for me to connect with the people. And I have to be authentic and I have to be genuine, but I also need to be sincere and really wanting to get to know the people that I'm looking to connect with. You all see this work. This is why many times I tell people, before you run an ad, before you try to do anything, don't go out frivolously just saying, I'm going to run this ad and assume that you're going to gain the people that will want your product. Guess what? People have to learn you. They have to trust you. I was looking at someone's ad just this morning, and I mean, they definitely, I saw their cadence, I saw how they were producing, I saw what they were putting out. It was simply amazing, to where my behavior wanted me to learn. I wanted to learn more. It even wanted me to click. But guess what began to happen? I didn't just see them one time. What began to happen, because I clicked and I stayed on the video, or I looked at the image for a certain period of time, the algorithm already knew to keep putting them back in my face. You need to know certain things like this, you all, before you start putting information out, because it needs to appease and appeal to the people that would want that product. All right, or who would want that service. The platforms will work for you if you know how to work them, but the content that you put out here is going to be very, very key to what it is. You need to know your audience. You need to target that particular group of people. Your content needs to be key and pulling in the right people that would want your service. And so that is another thing. We begin to utilize our platforms and we put content out here, because now we need to go and look on the back end and see what piece of content has a tendency to work better than me, better than this. I have about three social media platforms, you all, 3 or 4, I forget what. I'm always going back and I'm looking with each platform, because each platform offers different has different things that it offers to people. There's one platform I realized that my reels were running better than my stories, and then there was another platform I realized that my stories were running better than my post. So what do I need to do? Run more stories on that platform. What do I need to do on the other? I need to run more reels. Okay. But I also need to make sure that I'm mixing up my content. But remember, I have to have followers, or I need to, as well as I need to make sure that I'm putting out content that is not just connecting to my followers, but I also need to connect with people that are not following me. What's going to pull them in? Once again, what? Come on, come on. It's the content, you all. All right. So we want to make sure that we're doing that. Another thing that you want to do is remember this. The whole goal of using your social media platforms is to gain a bigger reach. So I can connect with people on the platform with the whole goal of getting them off the platform. I need to begin to develop my database so I can continue to nurture the people that I've connected with where? On the social media platform, because you cannot always trust the platform. It will work to gain a reach. It will work for you to put out information with the whole goal of getting people off and into your database. So you can continue to do what? To continue to nurture the relationship and share more about other products that you may have as well. All right. Another thing you want to begin to do, if you have a product, you need to get to what is those not flea markets, but the different markets, the different markets that a lot of the cities have, where you can actually purchase a vendor's booth and put your product out there for people in the community. You want to begin to look at those things as well. Look at in on Meta Facebook. There's a marketplace. You can go to you could Google places that have an upcoming event. It could be at the marketplace. You have to get yourself out. Once again, if I have a product, I need to get my product out here so I can use social media to get a bigger reach and share my product, my information. I can also go to different markets and begin to share my product with people that are in the community that are just walking around. Yee-dee-dee. That's the word I always like to use. Yee-dee-dee. They're walking around because they're looking to purchase. Okay? You have to be visible and you want to be seen. Now let's now go to people that might have a service, and you have a service. Maybe you do trainings, maybe you have speaking. You want to speak out in the public. Once again, just like we talked about, you having a product, because your service is actually a product as well. You can still utilize social media, do the same thing as I talked about. If you just have a product, if you have a service, you want to begin to also grow your platform. Now, here's another key. You need to know where your people are. So you may be having a great time and like you just posting up the yin yang on Instagram. Well, guess what? Depending on your audience might be over on LinkedIn. I don't know what it is that you have, but especially if you're doing a service, you have a training services, you offer workshops, you put information out like that. You're looking to gain speaking engagements. Well, you might need to start looking at LinkedIn. All right. And connecting with people on LinkedIn. Now, of course, Instagram might be the place for you as well, but you need to know where your audience is. You got to do some research. You got to stock and you have to chicken hawk. Today, I set out my day today, you all, to focus in on connecting with people who I have had, I've done trainings for in the past. I've sent out, so my day today was sending out DMs, sending out messages, sending out emails. That was my day today. Another thing that I did today, I'm gonna tell you what else I did today. I went through my email database and I began to look through um, all of my data. And I like, I'm always looking at my numbers. I'm looking at my open rates. I'm looking at all of these things. Now, I'm also looking at people that never open up their emails. Now, for one reason or another, maybe they are not individuals who open up emails, or it could be bouncing somewhere else. What am I doing? I'm getting rid of those. I'm getting rid of those numbers because the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to be able to put people in their place. So I want to make sure that I'm getting my open rate up to the place where I want it to be as well. My goal has always been to have an open rate of at least a minimum of between 35 to, about 30, 30. 30 to 35%, 40, if it's 50%, oh my God, it's on and popping. Okay. But I've set myself up to say right now, I want to focus in on my open rate being this amount, this number. Well, that means I need to get rid of people that ain't never opening up their emails for one reason or another. I may not be the one for them. Okay. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I want people that want what it is that I have, what it is that I offer, and I want to make sure that I'm connecting and giving them exactly what it is that they need as well. Because it's not just about me, it's about them and what it is that they desire and what it is that they need. All right. So once again, I can still utilize my social media platforms to gain a bigger reach to people that may not know me. And I'm doing it first organically. That means I'm not only posting and putting information out, I'm also evaluating the people that may like my information. I'm looking at people on different platforms, or they love certain things, and I can begin to connect with them that way. I can like their post, I can leave a comment underneath their post, I can do different things like that. So I want to begin to do things like that as well. All right. That's how I'm utilizing my social media platforms. Another thing that I do, what did I say previously? I'm still connecting to people that I have gone and I've done workshops with, I've done trainings with, and I may not have spoken to them in a while. So I'm connecting with them on LinkedIn, sending them a quick message. Hey, haven't spoken to you in a while. How's it going? How's it looking? What's happening with you? Because I'm genuinely concerned about them as well. What's happening? Because my goal is to stay connected and to really, really stay connected. Another thing is, and this is where I'm going to show my platform. For many of you all that are doing trainings, you have your business license, you're out here in the streets and you're trying to gain more contracts. Well, another thing you can begin to do, you guys, is what I call, you have to bid for different contracts. All right. Each state has a platform or a website where you literally can go to see what contracts are available to you, and you can make bids on them. Remember, you need to make money. There's no plan B for you. That means we got work to do. Okay, we have work to do, and you might want to be very, very mindful of all of these things, because uh many people are having a job today and walking in at the end of the day saying, we're sorry, we no longer need your services. So now what? Now, even though you might get what they say, a severance pay or something like that, that money runs out. And everybody's out here in these streets trying to find ways to make money, or they're looking for jobs. All right. And so with that, I want to show my screen real quick, because I want to show you as well areas that many people go to in order to find jobs. All right. So let me go here real quick. Let me share my screen, because I want you all to see what's out here for you as well. Now, this is for us here in California. Now, I always share with people about in regards to contracts. Remember, you should have different streams of income coming in. So now, for me, my top tier, you all, is contracts, because that's where the big money is for me, for what it is that I do, because I teach for the Customer Culture LLC is for companies, big companies that have 10 plus employees that need training in regards to understanding customer success. Maybe they have not gone through the process of onboarding and knowing how to connect with the customer, the consumer, depending on the job. They have had absolutely no type of training, because let me tell you something, it is more than a smile and a handshake. You need to understand your audience. You need to know what people need. You need to understand. You need to know if a crisis occurs, what am I supposed to do next? Because people in these streets aren't playing anymore. They want stuff right now, and your employees need to know what to do in order to make sure that that consumer, that customer gets what they need, and you are also making sure that the bottom line of your company is steadily growing. But at the end of the day, it's all about the customer, because without the customer, my saying is, without the customer, honey, there is absolutely no money coming in the door. All right. You better give these customers credit for what it is that they do and who they are. Period. Okay, as we say. So let me go here as well for you, for many of you all that are also looking to gain contracts, because what did I tell you before? I not only stay in connection with the people that I know that I've connected with, and I've had contracts with in the past, and maybe they moved on from that place, but guess what, maybe they moved on to another company. So I always make sure that I stay in contact with them, whether I give them a phone call or I also connect with them via a LinkedIn or social media platform. Now, this is another place, you guys, where you can go to find out the different contracts that are out there that you can bid on. Now, here's the key. In order to bid on a contract, you all, you have to have a business license. You have to have a business. It's going to ask you certain questions. Is your company a corporation? Is your company an LLC? Another thing is, when you make a bid for a company, you have to have liability insurance. All right. It's not as difficult as you all think, but you need to make sure that you have things in place before you actually go after different contracts. Now, in the state of California, you're able to go to, as you all see up in my URL here, it's called the Cal e-Procure. It's a procurement. And so what it does is it allows you to see what is out here for you that you can actually bid on. Now, as we go through, these are different, these are local and state contracts here. There are also government contracts out here as well. But this is just for the state of California. So I want you all to see, it'll show me the results of things that people are searching for, or the contracts that are out there that they are searching for. As you see here, one is court appointed psychiatric services. This is a service. All right. It tells you when the end date ends for when this contract will go off the system. And so you want to see all this information. I can scroll down here all day long, you guys. But these are the different contracts that are out here for you. So say, for instance, I literally wanted to get more information in regards to this one here, this court-appointed psychiatric service contract. Now, remember, in the state of California, I'm going to go to the URL https // cal CALE procure PROCURE.ca.gov. All right, and then it'll populate. All right, so now let's take a look at what this is here, this psychiatric services, and what it is that they're looking for. Now, it'll provide you all, it's waiting for the content to load, but it'll provide you with a lot of the information that the company or the people that are looking for the contract, what they're looking for. This sure is taking a whole lot of time. Let me try to refresh this real quick. Must be a whole lot up in here. Okay, let me try to refresh it, because I wanted you all to see what is here. If it still takes forever, I'm going to go to the next one. Let me go to another one, you all, because I want you all to see what is there. Let's try to go to this one. Or it could be the internet. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So here we are here, you guys. Now see, aging. Okay, here we are here. What it will do here is it shows you information. Now, if someone wants to put in this for this contract, you really, today is it ends today. All right. But what it's telling you is, what does it do? It gives you the email address to the person, the contact information, all of this good information here. Contract shall provide all labor, equipment, tools, yada, yada, yada. It gives you everything. Another thing is, it tells you information in regards to the event package. So for this one, they're looking for a company that's going to replace the sidewalk, root intrusion, removal services, all these good things. It gives you a lot of information here. All right. Now you can also download the information here. And now what you can also do, you all, you can go back and you can apply for this. You can apply or put in a bid for this contract. It'll give you all of the information on what it is that you need to do in regards to all of this. This is how you can begin to find out what contracts are out there for you, and you can begin to put a bid in for the contract. Now, one thing you also want to do as well, you all, is you always want to go in and evaluate, well, what is the going rate that people normally charge for these contracts? Because you do not want to underbid yourself as well. So this is a place time as well where you want to start to gain as much information as you possibly can when it comes to putting in bids for contract. Because many times what small business owners have a tendency to do is underbid because, oh, I want this contract so bad. But let me say this to you. You can underbid yourself so much to where they'll look at you like, you must don't know what you're doing. All right. Another thing is you can underbid yourself, and then the contract can require so much to where now you're losing money. So you can also always Google and find out what is the going rate, or what is the going rate in my state or in this community that people normally charge for this type of event or this type of contract. You always want to do that, or you know what? Never go in blind. You always want to ask those questions. All right. So you always want to put in, and you want to put yourself on the list, you guys, in regards to things like that. Now, remember, we have to do the work. We need to begin to say there is no plan B. I need to make money. Because if I don't make my money, you all, I'm going to be out on the streets, or I may not have a car to drive, or it's going to be a bad situation. But it doesn't have to be a bad situation, you all. We just have to know where to go. We need to know the resources. We need to know that we have to get out here and we have to treat our business just like a business. I have to do the work. And when I start doing the work, it comes more easily for me. I know how to put in bids for contracts. I know how to put time aside every day to make sure that I follow up with people who I've had contracts with before. I now need to know, okay, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, in order for me to generate at least $10,000 a month, I need to be going to the local, what do we call them, you all, when people have the markets and they have the different community markets and people have different vendors? I forget what it's called. You all know what I'm talking about. I need to know what are the local event spaces in which I can get myself into to make sure that I'm able to provide people with my product, to provide more information about my services, to begin to do those things. So there are different things that you need to do, but you need to look at what outcome do I want to generate. I'm setting a goal for myself, maybe monetary wise, but what is my ultimate outcome as well? What are my objectives to get to where it is that I need to be? All right. You got to do the work. I'm here today, you all, because school is out. Thank you, Lord. I get a break, and as a teacher, as a college professor, we need a break many times. All right, to get our minds together, because in a minute, you all, we're putting our curriculums and putting back our modules and doing all of these things even before school starts. So I am grateful for that. But remember, I also have the customer culture. So I'm still out here and I'm still doing trainings. I'm doing connections. And let me say this before I leave. I did a training a couple of weeks ago at Costco. And there was a gentleman in there because he said, oh, I'm working and I know I want to start this business, but when I leave work, I am tired, which is definitely legit because they work hard. So I had to tell them, I said, here's the key. in order for you to really, really get your business going, yes, you have to generate money. So yes, thank goodness for Costco and having a job where you know that you're making money on a consistent basis. I said, but here's the key, because you also know you want to step out into business. When you go home, you have to pick a day or two or three out of the week when you said, when I get home from working my job here, I need to focus in on my business. What do I need to do in order to get my business up and running? What are my resources? What do I need to do? But I have to focus in 2 or 3 days out of the week just to start and say, okay, well, I ain't gonna get much sleep tonight. I know I'm tired, but I have to stay consistent and develop a habit of working on my business. Now, another thing that I told them was, in order to connect with people, not only can you begin to, as long as your foundation is in order, that needs to be right. Okay. But I can utilize social media to connect and get the word out about what it is that I do. But for them, I said, you also may want to begin to connect in your local community with your chamber of commerces, because who's made up of many chamber of commerces? Those are business owners. So I said, for you, you want to begin to connect with them. So find out when the next chamber meeting is going to be. Let's start out there. And then make sure that you also have a mentor or a coach that you can always connect to find out what is your next step and what it is that you need to do. And they will also keep you accountable. All right. But I wanted to share that information with you all because you need to know who you need to connect with. You need to know that you always need to begin to put together a strategy. You need to know that you need to have several ways in which you need to generate money, generate revenue. What dollar amount do I need to generate today? Because even if I have a product and say my product is $25, you have to go back and look at how many pieces or how many units do I need to sell this week. And even though we might say, oh, maybe this month, sometimes you have to look at, you need to break it down to a week. How many units or pieces do I need to sell this week to make sure that I reach my revenue goal? All right. So I need to break it down, which means now I need to break it down even more and say, okay, I need to make sure that I'm connecting with way more people, because I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with the day. I might connect with 10,000 people, but maybe only 2,000 or even less than that will want to purchase my product. So now I have to go back and I have to look at my numbers, because I still need to connect with 10,000 people, knowing that maybe only 10% will want my product, or even it could even be 0.1% will want my product. And the truth be told, normally it's about 2% that would really, really want your product. So if my ultimate goal is to generate $10,000 or $15,000 for the month, or break that down to per week, so maybe $2,000 a week or something like that, I need to know, I got to start looking at my numbers. I got to connect with this amount of people, because maybe only 2 or 3% of them may really want my product. And there's more work to it than that. We got work to do. But remember, if you're on social media, your content is playing a key role in you connecting with the type of people that you want to connect with. I am forever doing what we call content creation skills training, because content is king, you all, and you also need to know your target audience. Marketing is real. You need to know marketing is just not about putting information out or putting out a post and doing nothing after that. No, marketing is made up of research. Marketing is made up of connecting to the right people. Marketing is made up of, it could be you need to run ads. Marketing is made up of connecting with influencers. Marketing is made up of collaboration. Marketing is made up of, I have a certain outcome I'm setting for myself. I have a certain goal that we're going after. I need to look at my objectives and getting there. I might need to connect with a coach I need to connect with a mentor that is already doing the thing that I know that I'm looking to get into, the thing that I'm doing, and I need to stay right underneath their wing and keep moving. I can't go over here. I can't keep sliding over here. I can't keep trying to just go all over the place, because it's going to cause you to become very overwhelmed, and it can even cause you to stop. And guess what? You still need to make $2,000 in 2 weeks before you get put out on the streets or your car is repossessed. Huh? What you gonna do about it? All right, it's your girl Latanya. Remember, I am here for you. For more information as well, you all make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel to gain more information. I really focus in on the customer and the customer journey, and how you need to really understand the consumer, how they shop, how they their behavior, looking at certain things, because they actually do go through a journey, you all, and you need to understand that. And the process of you being a small business owner, an entrepreneur, or an individual that is looking to still work that job, but you know you need to make more money. All right. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also find me on the different social media platforms: LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. All right. Talk to you guys real soon. Take care. Get the work done. There is no plan B. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.